Hello there, and welcome to Pipsoclock news analysis for the week. All right, this is the week of July 22nd to the 26th. All right, okay, so for this week's analysis, we are going to be working with about three or four economic calendar websites. We are on fxstreet.com, so then we'll check on Forex Factory, RTT News, that's real time Forex news, then Bloomberg to see information we can actually scrape to help form our decision for this week. Okay, so first on the FX Street website, here we are with the economic calendar. So just first off, let's run through the economic calendar for the week. Now let's begin with Monday. Monday was a quiet day. Yes. If I could, let me see if I can just get okay. Let's get this entire week. This week, apply. All right. Okay, beautiful. So now look at for what happened on Sunday night. That's from New Zealand. Monday, uh, two, three events there. China bank interest rate decision, yeah, then Europe group meeting, Eurogroup, and then German Buba monthly report. So for Tuesday, we have here today, Tuesday, we have the ECB's. There'll be a speech at it's already done. Then the Euro group meeting will continue, continue from yesterday. And then consumer confidence. Then just go through the economic calendar. Let's say we can pick out the things we now want straight away. So, but then where your focus should be on today, you already will look at Wednesday. You see all red indicators here showing strong impact, high impact events. That's from 8:30 a.m. tomorrow. You'll be focusing on the Eurozone, HCOB services PMI, and all the way to S&P Global CIPS Composite PMI for the GBP. And that doesn't end there. If you scroll further down, you go straight to 1445 for the Canadian Bank BOC interest rate decision and monetary policy statements coming up by 14:45. That's 2:45 p.m. And that 2:45 p.m. is our GMT plus one. That's our local time in Nigeria. Okay, you see the time is set here, GMT plus one. So 2:45 is 2:45. That's 14:45 there for Canada. That's on Wednesday. And still there on Wednesday, you are also considering the S&P Global Manufacturing PMI for July prelim, and it's covering their high impact news events. See the numbers. And of course, the monetary policy report for Canadian, that Bank of Canada, will be around 3 p.m. Then same 3 p.m. new home sales for the USD, though it's a medium impact event. Then the Bank of Canada press conference comes up 3:30. So these are events you should watch. Now, when you are trading your technical analysis, technical trading, pay attention to these times to know when to stay away, because that's the essence of us doing this news analysis, so that if you don't trade them, you know when to say, hey, let me hold on and let the event pass, and then confirm whatever your technical indicators are saying. All right, so we go on to Thursday, and on Thursday we'll focus more on, but from 1:30 p.m. rather, or all attention will go on the focus on the US dollar, where you have the GDP, that's gross domestic products, analyzed, is the highest impact event there. And of course, all of them are coming out at the same time. So you want to focus on this mainly, the gross domestic product analyzed quarter two, preliminary. All right. So then at 3 p.m. Rather 6 at 3 p.m. Yes, you have the pending home sales. It's a medium impact event, but it can actually drive the market. Then by 4 p.m. 16:00, you have Lagarde. Lagarde, that's the European Central Bank president. She will be making a speech. Okay, so and you need to be careful around the for if I were you. Before that time, you want to pause on Euro USD trade, except you already are in profit. You can actually lock in that profit and open up the TP, so that whatever happens you know that your account is safe or your trade is safe. Then on Friday we will be looking at Tokyo Consumer Price Index from Japan at 12:30. That's midnight. All right, and at the same time, you also look at the CPI excluding food energy year on year for July, and Tokyo CPI excluding fresh food year on year. From all these are from Japan, but the two major high impact events are the Tokyo Consumer Price Index and the CPI exempting food energy. All right, so if you want to trade this, you can wake up to just grab what you can grab, 10 pips, 20 pips on the either JPY, CAD JPY, USD JPY, or any of the JPY pairs. Of course, then the next major event will now be by 1:30 p.m., where we'll be going to the US again for the core personal consumer consumption expenditures price index month on month. And then also at the same time, of course, the for the one for year on year for June, it will be there too, the core personal consumption expenditures. And also you have the strictly the monthly one for June, month on month, and the year on year for June also. So all of these are coming out from the US by 1:30. So just one event, or rather by 1:30 p.m. in the US. Okay, so now having seen that, we'll now let's look at news. Let's go to Forex news and see the news making the rounds this week. Okay, so while we are here, you want to look at gold. Now, if you look at this, see gold price remains at bay with US data in focus. So gold has been since Friday, since Thursday or so last week, gold started coming down after making an all-time high. All right, and so for now, he's still trying to see if he can push back up above the 2,400 level, but then we shall see. By the time the events for today from the US data for this week, in fact, this week is really critical for gold, as particularly as the US data released today, tomorrow. Okay, so check Forex Factory. On Forex Factory, this is Tuesday. Let's go up. On Forex Factory, Tuesday is only the existing home sales at 3 p.m. That is a major US event, but other data from US will happen on Wednesday, and probably gold will also become a center of attraction as these events come out in the coming days. Okay, so let's return to FX before we go to switch to other sites. So, and if you look at that, so we want to quickly, I want you to take your time to read through this. I don't want to open it, so I want us to check other major events to consider. Now, here you can also see that Euro USD stays below 1.09 ahead of Eurozone consumer confidence. This was like 3 minutes ago. Okay, but let's switch to RTT. Okay, let's switch to RTT news here. And what I want us to do here is to quickly check on the global news and let's see what we can pick from there. Let's start with the economy. Let's look at the US. So here, Treasury reveals details of 2-year, 5-year, 7-year note auctions. The Treasury Department on US on Thursday announced the details of this month's auctions of 2-year, 5-year, 7-year notes. The Treasury revealed plans to sell 69 billion worth of 2-year notes, 70 billion worth of 5-year notes, and 44 billion worth of 7-year notes. Now, what I want you to consider while you are considering this kind of news is the impact the sale of these notes will have on the US economy. All right, when they sell um, these notes, what really happens? They are mopping funds from the economy. Okay, and this also will in turn impact on the currency. So most probably the US dollar, if investors uh, take this the way it is and want to act on it, it probably would help boost the US dollar strength. So you want to pay attention to this news. Then the US leading economic index dipped slightly less than expected in June. So this is from RTT News. So you want to take your time to run through this And then as you're going through them, don't really make any decision based on what you are seeing right now. Okay, well, bring them back to your chart and let's have a holistic analysis. For now, look at the jobless claims. This was for last week. The report released by the Labor Department on Thursday showed first-time claims for U.S. unemployment benefits climbed by much more than expected in the week ahead, July 13. In the week ended rather July 13. Now, what does this mean? This is actually not too good for the U.S. economy, and that could also inform why the US dollar has not been doing well, like from last week, Thursday, Friday, and all that. So you want to put all this in mind. So the essence of us running this analysis is to really give you an overview of what to expect in the news, so that you don't just get fixated on the technicals and forgetting the fundamentals, because these fundamentals help to shape the market, give direction to the market, and then the technicals will now soak them up and then give you a clear trend to follow. Okay, so Bloomberg has some information on politics. Okay, so now here you can see it's about Kamala Harris having enough delegates to clinch nomination for president. Now, I am sure you are aware that the US President um, Joe Biden has stepped down from the presidential race. Then uh, speculations are that it may be Kamala Harris that will take over from him or someone else. But some said it may not be Kamala Harris. But from what we're seeing here, um, Kamala Harris has enough delegates to clinch nomination for president in the Democrats, and he says she will unite Democrats as presidential field players. Now, what impact will this have on the US economy? All right, these are the things you need to start combing and looking at how investors are taking this. For example, a few days back, you know that Donald Trump uh, was almost, I mean, there was an assassination attempt on Trump. And also, considering that the strategy Donald Trump is using to win the heart of crypto enthusiasts in the US ahead of the elections, launching Trump coin and a number of crypto projects. Even, do you know, are you aware that also some guys also made donations in Bitcoin towards the presidential project in the US? Yes, towards the elections. And they even overgave what is allowed by the law, and they received a refund, and that should be to the Trump campaign organization. So a lot is going on, and there's a need for us to also keep up with, up to speed with what's going on. So in the US right now, um, let's begin to to filter, or rather look for clues, yes, clues as to what investors think about the about whoever emerges president. But then that may not really impact on your immediate trades, but somehow you never can tell what could just move the market. So since our focus is not just on forex, we are considering all sorts of tradables, including crypto, energy, metals, and of course currencies and other things, indices. So all of these come together. So what do you think that Kamala Harris emerging as the nomination for the Democrats, what impact do you think it will have on the US economy as it is right now? The elections are still ahead in November. Okay, so what do you think? All right, so these are the things we just want to know. So there's a need for us to. But let's go to Bloomberg Economics and see if we can pick one or two information that will help our decisions. Now, the okay, now look at this. Why is the US deficit so big? Depends on who you ask. Democrats say it's the Trump era tax cuts, while Republicans blame Biden's spending. And interesting things you read. But anyway, I want you to go ahead and check what's going on here. And okay, I can see some information on Trump, but then let's just go ahead and see what you can scramble and pick out of this. And finally, on Bloomberg, I want us to look at the business week. Okay, so Trump on what he do with Texas taxes, tariffs, Jerome Powell, and more. So this is what Trump. Okay, we may want to read that. We may want to spend some time to read that. Okay, and what do we have here? Okay, so it's late June. Donald Trump is plotting his next presidency in the gilded off-season isolation of the Mar-a-Lago club. The adoring club members may have decamped to cooler climates, but Trump is still in a good mood. Okay, so um, polls show a very tight race between him and President Joe Biden, but his fundraising is through the roof. It's also now clear his 34 felony convictions haven't upended the race. A big shock will come 2 days later at the first presidential debate, and it will be Joe Biden who's left reeling. Now, anyway, this is an old news though, but what impact do you think uh, Trump's presidency will have on the U.S. economy? What impact do you think Trump speculations that Trump may likely clinch the presidency? What impact would they have on the economy? These are things you should begin to think. So rather than just concentrate on your technicals on your charts, get these news pieces and put things together, and then check your economic calendar. All right. So this week on the economic calendar, we have gone through them and just scramble through the news and just be aware of what's going on so that nothing takes you unawares. Okay, so I think this is where we'll draw the curtain for this week. Check your economic calendar, be up to date with what's going on, and probably we'll be analyzing each of these events, as they come per day. Probably we will be dropping that for Wednesday later tonight, so you can check in the members area, so you can read through how we are going to walk through this. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, and God bless you. This has been from the Pipsoclock team. Thank you.